This video is going to be a film study look at the Ravens' first possession against Arizona on Sunday afternoon. Of course, we know that Arizona went right down on field on their defense and scored. The first time all year that they've scored on their opening possession, they were helped by 2 defensive penalties, but nonetheless, they were able to go down and get a score on us. We're very fortunate that our offense went down, got a key third down conversion from Lamar to Mark Andrews. You'll see 2 throws from Lamar on this drive that I think are just ridiculous. I've always said about him that I feel like he could have been a Major League Baseball shortstop. I have no idea his baseball background or if he ever did play baseball at all, but his arm angles, his ability to be accurate and throw the ball from multiple angles on multiple trajectories is the key. Reminds me of shortstops who can throw moving to the right, moving to the left, coming downhill, back in the hole between short and third. You'll get a look at 2 of those plays, including the touchdown pass to Mark Andrews, where he basically does a kick flip or kickstand and throws the football out there for Andrews. This is his first play of the game. The Ravens use this a lot, often. First play of the game, often. This is the 3rd time this year, to my knowledge, that we're basically running Justice Hill out of here on a downfield screen. Yeah, likely he's blocking downfield. The ball hasn't been thrown yet, so he's got to be a little more delayed. One thing that this play shows me, I'm not too sure about some of our calls here in a moment. Arizona does this to twins. They apex their outside linebacker. So right now they're in a 5-1 look. 3 interior linemen, 2 outside backers, and then 1 inside backer. And then a dime personnel, 5 DBs. 2 plays from now, there's going to be a play call that I just don't understand what we're doing, because it's almost like we didn't look at what Arizona does defensively. Actually, it's this play right here. After the penalty on Likely, 1st and 20. First of all, I've seen enough of these screens out here to Zay Flowers to know that we're productive with them. Zay's going to turn them into 6, 7, 8-yard gains at times, and eventually he'll bust one, no problem. But I don't know why this isn't an automatic give read. You've got the outside linebacker who's apexed. We're pulling the left tackle and left guard. This is an automatic give unless this is just a play call that Monken told Lamar what to do. There is no ability for this player here or this player here to get involved in the run fit. Numbers-wise, you've got a filling outside linebacker. This guy's going to go over the top. The potential for a cutback that is there off of these down blocks by Ricard. I'm not sure why that's not a read. It seems to be that Lamar was told what to do on that play. That's something that Arizona showed on film a lot that they would do. Nonetheless, first 2 plays of the game, we thought we would gain an advantage on it, and we did not. 2nd and 14. This is a ridiculous throw by Lamar underneath to Justice Hill against zone, I think, out of 11 personnel. So Arizona's taken their 5-1 nickel look off the field. They've now brought out one of the D tackles, 2 outside linebackers, Gardeck and Zaven Collins, and then 2 inside backers with 5 DBs. So they're in a 4-2 nickel, which is what most people are in against 11 personnel. Looks to me like Zay Flowers is trying to clear out of here, and we're trying to turn this into a wheel to Aguilar. Andrews sits this down. I think these guys do a nice job of covering this up. Kazire White gets in the window, and you can see what Lamar is doing. He's side-arming the ball around Linderbaum and the D tackle. I think Ledbetter. Justice Hill kind of loses his footing. Ends up being a 5-yard gain. Creates this 3rd and 9. It's a brilliant job by Lamar and a really confusing adjustment by Budda Baker post-snap. It's man-free by Arizona. Mark Andrews in his patented alignment, 2.5 to 3 yards outside the right tackle. This is his route that he's run since 2019. And Budda Baker is just flying out of here to go help Kazire White with the running back. I don't know what this is called other than opening yourselves up and making things more difficult for 33, who does a pretty good job running across the field here with Andrews. Almost tackles him short, but you can see Kazire White and Budda Baker dealing with the running back. I don't know what that is. It looks to me like Budda Baker was supposed to drop down to the low hole. Some people call a man-free robber. Budda Baker's feet are right here. 33 matched up with Andrews. Kind of our classic route on 3rd down. The Cincinnati Bengals will take Andrews out of here. Try to with a double team. All the space is created by Budda Baker vacating that side of the field and the vertical from number 1. And we get a conversion, and we're off and rolling. Now, one thing to say, we are now in the fifth consecutive pass to start the game, and there's going to be one more after this one. This one's almost pick six to OBJ out on the right side. Interesting to me that we're throwing the ball on every down to start the game. Again, you've got the outside linebacker apexed over here, the safety over the top. To me, this is probably a split field coverage call where the outside linebacker 45, who did a pretty good job in some of these coverage situations, is just told to play inside leverage of 2 and wall him outside, which you can see that he's doing. Getting hands on, OBJ bringing this down to the sideline, and 33, the same guy who did a nice job on Andrews. I mean, he's a half a step away from picking that off and taking it to the house, or OBJ's got to make a play. So we weren't satisfied with 5 straight passes to start the game. Here's number 6. It's a brilliant play by Lamar on this 2nd and 10, flipping it to Gus. It looks to me like he's going to go to Bateman. Bateman is bringing his route on an outside turn comeback, and it looks to me like it will be open on an inside turn, but, these guys are taught it in a certain way. There's definitely outside leverage corner here. Safety over the top. Andrews is open in the flats, wide open. We're stuck on Bateman, I guess. And Lamar does the right thing by pulling this down and not throwing the football, because it's going to have to be a difficult catch for Bateman against outside leverage corner. Yeah, Lamar could put the ball on the inside. As it stands, he pulls the ball down, flips it to Gus for 9 yards, and look at the closing speed of Arizona. These guys were getting after us. They're getting after the ball. They weren't standing around watching. How many players are there from the top of the numbers on down to the sideline? I count 9, unless I did my math wrong. 9-yard gain by Lamar. I thought Gus got it, but in any case, they ended up making a short. This is the same play. An end zone angle. I don't see Lamar's helmet leaving Bateman at all. The inside linebacker expands, but Andrews is out there by 6 yards. We're stuck on Bateman, and then we end up flipping it to Gus. One of those examples of, if you ask me, where some people could say, hey, if you take the easy throw, it's out there in the flats, and you can get 6-8 yards. As it stands, you have to make a wonderful play, which Lamar's capable of making. And so it's tough to argue against his thought process when he makes plays like that consistently. 3rd and 1, first run play of the drive. Cool play call, if you ask me. We've got the outside linebacker lined up over Andrews. Andrews is releasing outside, so that's going to pull Budda Baker with him. They're in their base defense here, by the way. 2 outside linebackers, 3 interior linemen, 2 inside backers. Here's your 4 DBs. So base defense on the field against 21 personnel. Andrews going to kind of arc release this. Not a whole lot of effort here, to be honest with you, by Andrews. Theoretically, he could go out there and get Budda Baker. Lamar is clearly reading that outside linebacker who hedged outside with Andrews. I don't think Andrews' effort there was 100%. Looked pretty slow. You got to get out of there. Make a clear window for the quarterback, number 1. Number 2, give that outside linebacker an immediate key. Widen him up, even widening him up another 3, 4, 5 inches could create a larger lane that we got. I think people will probably say I'm being too critical, but the lack of effort there by Andrews is obvious to me. We get a first down. We're right at midfield. This is the completion to Bateman. Lamar is dealing with Stanley being dumped in his lap. So this is not Lamar's fault at all in terms of this ball being underthrown. He's trying to get it out here to Bateman over the top. Great adjustment by Bateman. This is really cool stuff. Could have been an interception because of the pressure in Lamar's face. As it stands, it goes down as a 27-yard gain for Rashad Bateman up the left sideline, backside of the formation, which is the part that I think is really cool. This is the second time early in the game where we're looking at Bateman early, which I'm a big fan of, and he rewards us with a big play. End zone angle, same play. You'll see Ronnie Stanley kind of getting walked back a little bit into Lamar's lap. Gets caught off the half step here, so not able to anchor down enough at all. Into Lamar's lap. The guy's framing him up with his left hand. Lamar's still able to get this ball out of there. Kind of ridiculous that we have a guy who can make these plays. The sidearm play to Justice Hill. The flip to Gus where, I think he should have got rid of the ball earlier to Andrews, but as it went down, it was a 9-yard gain. This one complete to Bateman for 27 yards. And now we got a first down on the 22. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to run the ball, and we take a 5-yard sack. We're too pass happy here. You may not like my negativity. I understand if you don't, but I don't see a high level of organization on this play. It looks to me like we're trying to make it look like a screen to the bunch side to Gus, and then bring it back over here to Bateman or Flowers. To me, this looks like a perfect opportunity to run the football after we got a big gain. I don't think our hurry up after big plays has been nearly as beneficial for us as our offensive staff may think it does. I may be wrong. Maybe we didn't go hurry up there, but for my notes, I've got 21 personnel for the third play in a row there, and my notes say hurry up. So I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't. It's tough to tell from the all 22 that we get, because for me, it comes in by place. So after the 5-yard loss on the sack, we go up top to OBJ here. I'm glad that we're throwing backside. This is now the second time that we're going backside of a 3-by-1 formation. Lamar is clearly looking over there early, and we've got 3 receivers to the downside. Fine. I'm glad we're throwing to the backside. We've got some one-on-ones, regardless of the fact that OBJ didn't have a touchdown catch. He had an opportunity later in the game. He's drawing a lot of penalties. It's productive stuff for us on offense. Do I think that we'd be better served with him in the slot at times? I do. But he's been productive in terms of grabbing defensive pass interference penalties. So 1st and goal from the 8, and we run. We give it to Gus. Lamar is reading this D end here, and thankfully that D end, gave Lamar a reason to hand it off, because if he doesn't and Lamar keeps this thing and that outside linebacker, if he's running down the line, it's over. But as it stands, it's a give to Gus, kick out block on the one-back power, basically by Simpson. Goes down as a 3-yard gain, 2nd and goal. This is insanity, the way Lamar throws this football. 2nd and goal from the 5. Motion Gus out of there. Essentially mesh, if you ask me. And I'm not sure what 34 is doing. The safety's taking over Aguilar. Don't know who he's guarding. He's running in front of Andrews. Really confusing stuff a couple of times, but it's mesh. Maybe he's letting his man go through, which is Aguilar. And got to look for work, though. His eyes are too stuck on Lamar, and Mark Andrews does the right thing of just springing this thing back right around the D and Cardinals. Lamar, kick step and a beauty. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Just on the first possession, you have ridiculous playmaking skills by him. Maybe there's a better comparison than a Major League Baseball shortstop, but the level of wizardry, really, that he can provide with throwing the football at multiple angles, throwing the football while he's got one defender in his face that Linderbaum's trying to get out of there, and then Stanley trying to create a pocket off the left side for Lamar, and then he throws it at this weird angle. We're lucky we've got the guy. End zone angle just for one more time for good effect. It's a 5-yard touchdown for Andrews, I think his 6th of the season. I can only imagine what our coaching staff says after wins when they see stuff like this. We will tell all of us, myself, I know, will tell our kids and grandkids that we got to see Lamar Jackson play football and play quarterback for the Ravens, just like people that were in Baltimore decades ago talked about Johnny Unitas in the same way. Insane that play right there will probably be the 50th most unique play that we see the guy make, because it seems like he does that type of stuff every week. This was a look at the first possession of the Ravens where I thought we were too heavily weighted towards the pass for whatever reason. And you may have a different opinion. It worked against the Lions early, so I get it. It kind of reminded me of the first half last year against the Tampa Bay Bucks, where we threw the ball 25 times. For whatever reason, schematically, we thought we saw something, and it wasn't there. It just wasn't. Against the Bucks last year, I thought we had a little bit more opportunity to be efficient with the pass game. I didn't think we were super efficient with the pass game here, particularly to the open side. I talked to you guys about the outside linebacker being apexed, kind of creating that 3-over-2 to the twin side, and I didn't think the screen to Zay Flowers looked like a great opportunity. I didn't think the deep out to OBJ looked like a great opportunity from a play call standpoint with what the Cardinals were doing. Of course, Todd Monken has no idea that that's what they're going to do on that particular play, but I'm telling you that I had seen that on film in the scouting stuff in terms of the outside linebacker being apexed, creating that 3-over-2. Hell, and sometimes, in some ways, it almost creates a 4-over-2 on the one play that I talked about. I feel like we don't integrate the run and the pass together early enough in games to reach our maximum efficiency right now. and you may disagree because we got a touchdown on this possession, but I thought it was really the playmaking of Lamar, even though I thought that one of the decisions he made about not throwing the ball to Mark Andrews in the flat, I would have him do differently. But beautiful throw to Mark Andrews, beautiful sidearm throw to Justice Hill, the flip to Gus Edwards. Brilliant stuff, even though numbers-wise he didn't finish, I think 18 of 27 for 157. So it doesn't look like a real high-level game. There's some high-level stuff that he did on this first possession that allowed us to dig ourselves out of a hole, tie the game at 7 before we eventually took control of the game late in the second quarter and late third quarter. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video and the way I broke down some of the plays. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this content, this film study look at the Ravens' first possession, please consider grabbing a link to this video and sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.